I'm joined by Congressman Joe Walsh of Illinois. The Republican has been leading the effort, the criticism of the McConnell plan here in the House. Thanks very much for the time. The McConnell plan is being pitched over the Senate side as the ultimate fail-safe, the thing that can prevent default. You don't even like the McConnell plan. Tell me why.
Peter, it's not a plan. It abdicates our responsibility. It basically says to the president, go ahead and raise your debt ceiling, and oh, by the way, we disapprove. That's not why we were sent here. We're sending a letter to our leadership today. We've got just about 90 signatures. They're still coming in, asking our leadership not to bring the McConnell plan up for a vote in the House.
You're saying it's an abdication of leadership. There are some out there suggesting the leadership question here is letting the country risk default and the economic consequences to come. You're not convinced that there would be harm if indeed we reach August 2nd without a deal?
Well, eventually there will be harm. Eventually there will be default. I guess this whole obsession with August 2nd doesn't move me. I want to get this right, Peter. The House Republicans want to get this right so that we don't get to this point again. The president has kept pointing to August 2nd as Armageddon. He knows that's not true.
There are a lot of folks out there in the financial community who are Bloomberg viewers who disagree with you entirely on that, Congressman. They believe there will be consequences for your constituents in your home district in Illinois.
I think what the markets and the credit agencies are telling us is we have to raise the debt ceiling, but we have to do it with real structural spending reform. We passed a plan in the House, cut, cap, and balance, that meets those criteria. That's the only game in town right now, and the Senate's going to take up cut, cap, and balance.
S&P reiterated today that if they don't see progress on this in the next 90 days, there's a 50-50 chance they're going to downgrade the United States debt rating. Would you feel any sense of personal responsibility if that happens?
If we don't address the debt crisis, which is really the vehicle here which will drive down our credit rating, then yes, I'll feel some responsibility. If we just raise the debt ceiling, Peter, and don't structurally change the way this town does business, we'll do a disservice to the country. The credit ratings will respond negatively. We got to make sure we do it right.
So based on all the proposals you're hearing come from the White House, the negotiations with the Speaker, you're a no vote right now.
Look, I signed a pledge that unless we structurally reform the way the town spends money, i.e. we pass a balanced budget amendment, I'm not going to vote to raise the debt ceiling. We're certainly not going to vote for anything like McConnell, which basically, again, abdicates our responsibility.
What if McConnell is augmented, as some have suggested here, with $1.5 trillion in spending cuts, real spending cuts in the short term, as well as a commitment to, again, put together another panel of lawmakers to come up with those long-term cuts you're talking about, because those aren't really possible between now and August 2nd?
I think the House, as always, is willing to look at anything. I mean, Peter, we've been driving this thing. We passed a piece of legislation. We've been waiting for something from the Senate. The president has been AWOL here. He has no plan, and he comes to us in the 11th hour and says, get serious about spending, when he's driven us off a cliff for 2.5 years. Look, nobody wants to default. None of us do.
Congressman, this is divided government, though. You've got a Senate controlled by Democrats. You've got a Democrat in the White House. For those Americans out there, and polls are suggesting perhaps the president's getting the upper hand in this debate, that you all need to give a little bit more. Your hard, fast position is not consistent with the majority of Americans right now. What do you say to that?
The president and the Democrats have had the run of this city for 2.5 years. And they ran up debts and deficits like we've never seen. If compromise means we run after them now and meet them halfway, that's not what we're going to have to do. They're going to have to come way over to our side and seriously address this spending crisis.
Are you willing to risk your re-election chances on this issue?
I did not come here to get reelected. I came here to stop the bankruptcy that we're putting on future generations.
All right, Congressman Joe Walsh, another perspective on the debate here.